Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. No contribution with this video. So, obviously, after death like this goes down, you just do a lot of reflecting. This is stuff you're not, you're never prepared. I guess you're never just prepared for it. And again, this isn't sadness. What I did was is trying to figure out what could I have done different. I could have left sooner. That's it. That was the only way to change any of this. Because everything I've been talking about in regards to narcissism and sociopaths holds true. Nothing changes until you go no contact. And the sooner you do, the sooner your life can change. The sooner you can start making changes. The most frustrating part, the rage-inducing part about this is as I sit back and reanalyze this over and over and over again, nothing could have been different. Nothing could have been different until I went no contact. There was no way I could control it. There was no way I was going to stop him, either of them, because I was there. I should have left right after I graduated high school. I didn't. I should have left at 19. I didn't. I should have left at 21. I didn't. I should have left even when I met my ex-wife. The first time I tried to really go no contact with him after over the me not letting them use my Macy's card to use my employee discount. Should have left then. I should have moved to Florida. I had been talking about moving to Florida since I was a kid. Should have moved with her then. Regardless of, I shouldn't have been with her to begin with, because I should have left after high school, right after high school. But there, at that point, I should have left then. Should have left when she was pregnant. And the thing over the baby furniture and that whole ordeal. And I tried to go no contact then. I should have left then. I should have been moving to move my family away from this. And I didn't. At that point, I could have saved Aaron. At that point, who knows? That's what drives me insane. That's what drives most of us insane. Is because there was nothing you can do to even stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop them but to leave, other than leave. That's it. That's it. A lot of you know Angela. I brought her up. I bring her up from time to time on the channel. She's one of my longest subscribers. I talk to her a lot, she has a narcissism channel of her own, Akon. I've done videos for her. Akon, are you for real? And those of you know, she works for a lawyer, a pretty big one, I think. And without divulging where she is or what she's working on or any of that, okay, there isn't recently, and it's been for a while now, that she doesn't tell me, there isn't a time that she doesn't tell me that I absolutely made the right decision by leaving New Jersey and moving to Florida. Because she sees it in her law firm. She sees what happens. She sees the hopelessness. She sees how in the cases she deals with as well, how these women lie and manipulate, and these guys get railroaded, and nobody cares. The courts don't care. The prosecutors don't care. They don't care. She tells me, I am convinced, because it's the same pattern of behavior that you talk about on your channel, that you've shown with your ex-wife and your family, that comes through these laws, that he sees it firsthand. You absolutely would have ended up charged with something horrific. Absolutely. Because that's how they operate, and nobody cares about real justice. Prosecutors don't ever admit when they make a mistake. They don't admit. You got to get them in a corner, and they don't want to do that. So I hope I didn't divulge anything on Angela there, but that's the frustration. There's nothing I could have done but to have left sooner to avoid all of that. Now, that doesn't change who my ex-wife was as a person, for the ability to have that in you, to alienate a child that's a part of the two of you from the father and make you hate that person. And I understand it happens to some mothers too, okay, but by and large, this happens to fathers. Nothing changes until you leave. Nothing. These people are machines. They're Terminators. They don't stop. Nothing changes until you leave. And you may ask, well, why at high school graduation? Why not go to an authority when it was going on? At that point, go to that point, because it wouldn't have made a difference. Let's just say, hypothetically, I could get an authority to listen to me. At that point, where was I going to go? I asked my mother, what would happen to me and my brother if something happened. It's like, oh yeah, you'd go live with Ginny. I'm like, oh, you talk to Ginny about that? Oh, I'm sure she'd take it. Oh, okay. She didn't even know. And I would tell you this. Okay, as good of memories as I had with Ginny and Maria, by the time Rachel was born in 86, okay, or even before that, once her and Mario were married, that there were different people. There were different people, and that was in 81. There were different people. And then once they had their own kids, forget it. My father's side of the family, they didn't even call me up to find out when we were first getting divorced, when we were first getting separated. I didn't receive a phone call from one family member, and that was before anything went down with my family, with my mother, with my father, any of it. That was when, at the very, very beginning, when they were still feigning support. Not one. So no, I really had no other options. And again, no options. That's what the narcissist gives you. No options. No options until you leave. No options until you get out, until you get away. To clear up some stuff, some questions in the comment section of some of the recent videos. The reason why, first off, and this is one of the biggest problems I had, not only with Eric Williams, but getting my mother charged for threatening Charlene. Okay? I understand there's all sorts of agencies you can report to. None of them want to hear it. Do you know why? Because they're all public employees. All of them. My mother, the therapist, my wife, my ex-wife. Okay? They're all within the system. And the system doesn't turn on itself. Ever. Ever. And look what's going on. Look what's going on politically. Look what's going on with Mueller and Rosenstein and the FISA and the FISA warrant. Like, it's obvious they lied about it all. They don't admit mistakes. They don't turn back. They don't turn on their own. They double down. They triple down. So I appreciate, some of the comments, some of the advice, and and the offers. Okay, it's going nowhere. They're not going after public employees ever. Ever, ever, ever. They'll go after some private doctor completely removed from the system if they're doing something like that. They are not going after somebody working in a school system, a social. They're not doing it. Ever. Ever. Not unless some third party outside agency sues on a freedom of information. And boy, you need a hell of a case to get somebody to take you up on that. And this is the frustration. This is the rage-inducing part, was where I'm saying nothing could have been different. Nothing could change until you get away. Nothing. The only way to change that would have been to leave sooner before it ever happened. And at the time with my ex-wife and daughter, or before we were even married, or better yet, as I graduated high school, to go, to figure it out, to get out. The anger comes from, it's like they took all your choice, they stole it from you, the right to even be able to have a choice to make, to even be presented with any choices. Rage inducing. There's another question somebody wanted, and I've brought this up in the past as well. I felt compelled to write after mulling this around in my head for a few days. You are not listed as your mother's son in the obituary. I can't help to think that there is more to that. Are you sure that Meade is your father? No. And I believe I brought that up. No. No, I'm not. I told the story when my mother fell down the basement steps and her ankle snapped and went out through the skin. And my father, being the pussy cuck loser that he is, didn't know what to do at that point. So what does he do? Picks up the phone and calls, because I was the medic, I was the firefighter, I could handle. And Precious had already moved 1,500 miles across the country to Colorado, getting his head stoned up in the mountains. So, went there. He's standing at the top of the stairs. I'm looking up, and she's at the bottom. It's like a fucking Lifetime movie of the week. All right, whatever, Get EMS, get her out. She's in the hospital for days because she needs surgery. Well, the next day, okay, I got Erin. I'm about to get her ready for daycare. $700 a month. That was at the time. Get her ready for daycare. Phone rings again. It's my father again. I can't breathe. I'm dying. I can't breathe. Please get over here. Fuck. I mean, Aaron's a toddler at the time. Luckily, the cop across the street, he had a daughter born like 2 days before Aaron was born. We knew him. I ran like, can you just watch? His wife was home, or his sister was home watching her kid. Like, can you just? Yeah. And Joe's like, you want me to take you in the squad car? I'm like, just lead me in the like, and he just rips me over there. You know, lights and siren. I'm following him behind him to my parents' house, which is only a few blocks away. He's on the floor, huffing and puffing. I'm like, what's with you? I can't breathe. This is why. I have to think he may not last all that long. He may not without her. That's why he's going to be desperate for somebody. Oh. So, call the ambulance again. Get him to the hospital. So now he's in the emergency room. I'm upstairs. They don't know what's wrong with him. They think he's having some kind of allergy. He might be in some kind of shock. He might need a so they're asking me. They're like, what blood type are you? I'm like, I don't know. My file, but I'm on file here. I'm in Hackensack Univer. They got his. And they're like, can you? And they're like, look at my file and his. I'm like, and I'll never forget the look on the nurse's face. She goes to me, this is your father. I'm like, yeah. She's like, your birth father. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. She's like, okay. She looked at him, and it was like, went right up to my mother's room. I'm like, is this something you want to tell me? What? Well, Daddy's down in the ER. I'm like, first of all, Daddy's down in the ER. Like, get her all that. I'm like, tell her what happened. I'm like, I'm like, nurse just asked me if I could give blood to Daddy. Yeah. And she's gonna make the connection. Then I'm like, they pulled my file. And she asked me if Daddy was my natural father. I'm like, anything you want to tell me? No, nothing. And I could tell. So, it doesn't matter if he is or not at that point, because I pretty much could figure out who was. And that didn't really make a difference to me anyway. And it wouldn't make a difference at this point because legally, he is my father. So it wouldn't make any difference at this point in regards to Aaron or any of that shit. Legally, he is my father. He's been my father. There's nothing. So it would make some sense, yeah, like why he would treat me like that. But I think the guy was just an asshole. He felt inferior to my mother's father. I looked just like my mother's father. I looked nothing like him or anybody on his side. Nothing. I take no characteristics from him whatsoever. Even though he has blue eyes and my mother had brown eyes, my eyes are green exactly like my mother's father. It was her recessive gene that gave me my eyes, not his. So, that's a possibility as well. There was one other thing I wanted to address as well, and I'm trying. Oh, that's it. If you if you look at it's funny because I'm not even going to say it's funny. I pinned a comment on remember who the narcissist was after they die. from Corinne Mizakowski. Corinne was my high school girlfriend. You know, she knew Drunky the Fuck Clown. She knew her. she knew my mother. She knew a lot. So I appreciate her. After it's 1980, well, no, not 1989, 1990. What is that? 28 years now. Fuck. 20. Can that be right? I guess so. 28 fucking years. Holy shit. 28 fucking years. She's been around. Not the whole time, obviously, but she obviously had. Not obviously. Let's just say Drunky and her mother had a lot in common. Not the drunk part, but the sociopathy. So, you know. We had our rounds, me and this girl. Nothing terrible or abusive or anything like that. It was just, we kept for years. You know, it went on again, off again, on again, off again, with each other. So, you know, but that doesn't happen in decades. So, you know, so nothing like that or anything. But, you know, it's funny, you know, she's the only one. She's the only one, really. Well, that's not true. She commented, the person I made the video, Tori, who I made the video about, you know, about my mother being jealous, the narcissist is jealous, or I can't remember the name of the video. She commented, and of course I found all about the death from my buddy Matt, so. They say if you got 3 friends from your life that you're alright, so I guess maybe I'm alright. I'm kind of realizing here. Oh, the other thing I wanted to address as far as the monetization, and because I've been getting messages about liked videos coming down, and you know, basic other channels. This Little Shaman, the Little Shaman channel, a bunch of you have commented me about. I can't remember her exact name. Little Shaman Healing. Listen, and you guys are worried about it being over the borderline personality, and though that's something we have to watch out for, I don't think that's why her channel came down. Her channel came down because YouTube cracks down hard on anything marijuana related. They just delete channels at this point. They just delete them. Anything marijuana related, doesn't matter if you're in a legal state or not. It doesn't matter if it's a medical state or not. It doesn't matter if it's CBD. It doesn't matter. They're just pulling down people's weed channels. That's just what they're doing. And I don't know what that's about. I mean, it is another form of censorship, obviously. I mean, I'm still having issues with demonetization myself. Every video I have posted since my mother died has been demonetized. And the empty life of the narcissist has been confirmed demonetized, confirmed by manual reviews. So, you know, they're squeezing us. They're squeezing us hard. So, nothing changes until you leave, everybody. Nothing. And death doesn't change anything. Doesn't change a goddamn thing. I don't feel like I have any real closure or anything. Like, my closure was years ago when I left. Your closure has to be when you leave, not when they die. And like I said, I think I'm more fucked up being that, wow, the person that gave birth to me is now dead, which is an odd feeling. My feelings now, though, are just reflective of what could I have done differently? What could I have done to save my daughter? What could I have done? What could I have done? Nothing. Nothing. Other than leave sooner. Because you can't change them. Ever. So, let me know what you think in the comments thread. Everybody. I want to thank everybody for your support through all this. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's tough. It's odd. It's odd. I still sit here and I'm like, wow. Wow, because you think they're going to live forever. Oh, Lord. Who knows? Okay, but it is important to keep the channel supported, growing, and successful. And the channel does need your support. So, if you want a story read, if you want to set up a Skype or a phone call, I'm getting back to that very, very shortly. I have a pretty decent, substantial queue, but I want to keep building on the queue. And so I can just constantly be putting out videos. You know, and keep it going. You know, it just been doing a lot more Skypes lately and behind the scenes stuff. You guys really like those as well. So I'm here if you need me for Skypes and phone calls right now. If you want to get on the queue, get in the queue. If you just want to keep it supported, you know what to do with the links. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel again. So thanks again, everybody, for everything. I really appreciate it. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.